Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Yesterday, global crypto markets tanked on fake news. So I'm going to share with you exactly what that was, but Bitcoin, which is what most people are eyeing in the world of crypto, it actually dropped below $20,000, which was an important psychological level, and from a technical perspective, there's no shortage of analysts saying, hey, we need to watch for this. But it was on fake news, and perhaps a bit of reassessment regarding Jerome Powell's speech from the other day. Perhaps that was a factor. There's one analyst in particular I follow that seems to think that's the case, although, why it took an extra day for that to happen based on the timing, I don't know. I just like to share various perspectives on the channel, though, so I'll show you what was being discussed there. Also, there was an XRP fudster out there, fear, uncertainty, doubt stir, sharing some, what I would argue is an unreasonable perspective regarding expectations and price performance of XRP, encouraging people to ditch XRP. It's a garbage token. You shouldn't even have it. And given that it's circulated so widely, I thought I'd take a couple minutes here on the Moon Lambo channel, which, by the way, is the best channel on all of the YouTubes. And I just go ahead and use my incredible platform here to tear that piece of crap to shreds, and then we can just place it in the wood chipper and never have to speak of it ever again, hopefully. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this, XRP is down to 33 cents. Bitcoin's hovering just above $20,000. Market cap for the asset class back under 1 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance down to 38.7%. And the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, actually surprisingly high considering it's at 28 out of 100. I wouldn't have been surprised to see it a little bit lower given the fact that Bitcoin did drop below $20,000, at least by a little bit. I mean, here, I'll show a 7-day chart. You can probably see the chart. Yeah, you can see the drop here yesterday where I'm circling. It just happened, and it's been, for most of the last 24 hours, yeah, it's basically been kind of trading sideways. But it was a pretty big drop, and that's pretty much what all crypto charts look like. But it was on fake news. It's completely on fake news. So what actually happened here? Well, it was about MtGox. You guys all familiar with MtGox? It used to be the most famous and biggest cryptocurrency exchange on the entire planet. In particular, it operated really from 2010 to 2014 when it was hacked, which ultimately resulted in it going out of business. And you know what's funny? MtGox, it actually stands for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. That's right, MtGox. Some of you, I'm sure, knew that, but it's always funny when people are like, oh, I'm sorry, the biggest crypto exchange on the planet MtGox stood for Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. Yes, it did. And so here's what happened. In 2007, the website was created, and this is before Bitcoin existed, 2007. And it was created by Jed McCaleb. Of course, yes, that Jed McCaleb, who came up with the idea for XRP. He's one of the co-creators of XRP and the XRP Ledger, then created cryptocurrency XLM and Stellar. Yes, that guy. He's got his hands on everything crypto from the earliest of days. Isn't that something? So it was a site for Magic the Gathering. It was an online exchange for the cards, effectively. And then since he already had that up and running, he just kept the website, MtGox.com, and then just started using it for trading crypto, which today might sound a little ridiculous, but it's, crypto, was it going to be a thing? It back then really was just easy to think of as nothing more than a fun little experiment, some magic internet money, and that's the degree to which it was being taken seriously. Rather than start, a new website, think about it, can you pay for a new website? We already got magicthegathering.com. Like, what are you talking about? MtGox.com. Why do we need to start a new website? It's just a little... So I can imagine the types of things that they might have been thinking along those lines. It's just kind of funny being in 2022 and seeing that's what actually happened. It ended up becoming this truly global force here. But so that's what happened. But by 2013, they had... MtGox was holding 70% of all global crypto that was on global exchanges. 70%. And about 850,000 Bitcoin ultimately got hacked. Now, don't forget, there's a max supply of Bitcoin of 21 million. And they, in one go, they were able to steal 850,000 Bitcoin. And so anyway, the exchange filed for bankruptcy, but some of it was recovered. And ultimately, the Bitcoin that's recovered, it's going to be sent out to those who were impacted back in the day. And so it's interesting, as terrible it was for everybody associated with this. Basically, those Bitcoin holders from back in the day, they were forced to hodl because they're going to get something back and it's worth way, way, way more than what it was back then. So who knows? For some people, maybe it's a happy ending here. I hope so anyway. But there is a rumor that 140,000 Bitcoin from MtGox were going to be released today. Well, it's today now, and that didn't happen. So here's a tweet from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and he said, apparently the 140,000 MtGox Bitcoin coins are not being released tomorrow. These are rumors being repeated by large accounts for engagement with no actual factual basis. I looked for a source to verify these claims, and there isn't one. There you go. So that's his quote. So a lot of people are saying that's the reason that all of this dropped. Once the word started getting out, markets dropped precipitously. And then there was also this. Should we be worried about that Bitcoin ultimately getting out? Well, TXMC, who is I think, rather insightful analyst, used to work at Glassnode, which is an on-chain analytics firm. He said the following. Many saying the MtGox coins will be released August 28th, but no one has an official source. Regardless of when, it's $3 billion of coins belonging to a group of essentially forced multi-cycle hodlers. I'd be surprised if they sold it all after fighting to get paid in Bitcoin instead of cash. Some selling will occur, no doubt, but will it significantly move the market? $3 billion is a fraction of daily traded volume and a speck of the forced selling in May/June. I could be dead wrong on this, but the stars align for it to be a more positive than negative outcome. And so I think that's a pretty reasonable position to hold on this. Like, should we be scared even when the $3 billion worth of Bitcoin does get back out into the wild? Is it going to make XRP and everything else drop? Well, again, $3 billion worth of coins at today's prices. And then, look here, Live Coin Watch. For those of you looking at your screen, you can see the 24-hour trading volume for Bitcoin about 10.5 billion. And I checked it last night, and it was like 12 billion. So even if it's enough, like, you'd have to have everybody selling all at once, and then you can only do it once, right? And then maybe markets dip a little bit, and then what? It just levels out. This is not some sort of cataclysmic thing that's going to occur because Bitcoin from MtGox is coming out. That's just silly. And so I would see the point that, yeah, maybe you might see some sort of temporary downward movement, and some of that could just be psychological, people responding and panic selling. But I don't know how many stop losses are going to get set off by something like this. And then there was also this from TXMC. He noted the following regarding the price action. He said, Powell said little new yesterday. So we're talking about Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Powell said little new yesterday. The market overreacted downward in part because it overreacted to the upside in July after what it thought was a dovish turn at FOMC. It was wrong. We just watched the same group of participants repricing their misery. Okay, so fair speculation. As far as the timing, I don't know. Timing doesn't seem 100% perfect, but it's not crazy to think that for some people this would have been a factor, because I said some things along those lines. I never pretend to know everything, but after we had that, it was after the 75 basis point increase and markets responding positively, and based on some of the stuff that he said, maybe we completely, maybe inflation is going to be under such control. I guess some people were thinking that we're not even going to need to engage in such monetary policy in the future. Well, TXMC here is basically saying, okay, well, that seems to have been wrong after this latest speech from Powell, who is saying, yeah, you can effectively, he's getting at, you can certainly continue to expect to see the Fed increase rates for the remainder of the year, probably. Effectively, that's what he's getting at. So, but see, there's no change. Like that's what was always most probable to this point, I think, anyway. And so then there's this guy named Gray Jabesi. He's got about 25,000 people following him. I personally hadn't heard of him. He does not like XRP. And so he tweeted this thing out, and it was pretty widely circulated. So I had a couple things to say about this because I just think, frankly, it's kind of silly. But he wrote the following. XRP was 2.3 cents when Bitcoin was $317 in 2014. ETH didn't even exist. Today, XRP is 33 cents, only 14x since 2014. Ripple holders, he calls them Ripple holders because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Ripple holders, it's time to count your losses. Sell and look for a better investment. He means sell and look for a better investment, but God forbid he actually read his tweet before putting it out there. And then he says, I know you're emotionally attached to it, but that's not how we invest. Okay. So here are my initial thoughts on that. And I came across this thanks to my fellow XRP YouTuber, Dusty BC Crypto. And he noted too, like, arguably, easy to argue, XRP is at an artificially suppressed low price because of the SEC going after Ripple, claiming it's an unregistered security. So yeah, it rebounded, but I still think it's at a suppressed price. I think it would be much higher if not for this. So that's one thing to consider. But those are not the only things to consider. In fact, so consider that, and I'll get to what I wrote in just a second, but consider also, I don't want to make this point now so I don't forget it, XRP is one of 3 cryptocurrencies in existence that has always been in the top 10 cryptos by market cap since being created. It's one of only 3. There's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That's it. XRP is one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies on the entire planet. And, as I record this, it's at number 7 in terms of market cap. But don't forget, you've got, 3 stable coins above it, which means that if not for the stable coins, it would still be number 4 in market cap? I'll tell you what, out of over 20,000 coins in existence, the fact that XRP is at 4, this guy is actually trying to convince you that means it's a failure, number 4 in market cap, because he's cherry picking a specific timeline. Because I can make Bitcoin performance look like crap if I pick a specific timeline, But if you're just being an honest individual and you look back from the beginning of time to now, wow, it's incredible, And so here's what I wrote, though. I said, did he forget that at one point XRP was up about 80,000% in just 1 year? Is he unaware that the asset class moves in tandem? Does he think feeling impatient is a good reason to get out of an investment, in particular when global adoption of said investment is jumping? Now, those questions I would love to have him answer. See, that's why you're cherry picking a timeline. Since I knew he was cherry picking a timeline, that's why I pointed out the 1 year that made XRP look like the best investment on the planet. 80,000%. And that's true. It really was about 80,000% up in roughly a 1 year time span. So it used to be worth half a penny, went to almost $4. So it depends on the timeline. This guy, to me, when people make these arguments, it strikes me as not intellectually honest. And consider this. If you were one of the first purchasers of XRP in early 2013, you had to wait about 5 years to see it hit its all-time high of close to $4. 5 years. And it's almost been 5 years since we hit that. So the fact that we haven't seen a new all-time high since then isn't weird historically even. It just goes. But if you get impatient and you stop, fine. Well, if you want out, then get out. I'm not telling anybody to buy or sell or hold. I don't care. Everybody can do what they want. This guy can do what he wants. But the idea that XRP is a failure to this point, even if you're just looking at price action, that's absurd. The idea that XRP is a failure based on adoption, that's absurd. It's one of the most adopted cryptocurrencies used in enterprise-grade software today. That's rare. That's super rare in the world of crypto. It's been a huge success in terms of market performance and in terms of actual adoption based on utility. Both of those things are true. Yet here, he's trying to trick you into thinking that just because it's been at this level and markets trading sideways, that makes it a failure. It hasn't seen a new all-time high in several years. What the hell is even weird about that? When it pops, historically, XRP lags behind, even though it still moves in tandem with the market. It still is correlated. Historically, when things pop, they pop. And then it's worth a fortune, and people get to have life-changing wealth. A lot of people do anyway. So let's see if that happens again. There's no guarantee, fine. I always admit maybe it goes to 0, but that's because I'm being intellectually honest. I don't know for sure, but the type of stuff that he's saying right here is bunk as far as I'm concerned. It's bogus. It doesn't strike me as intellectually honest, or at a minimum, it's some of the least insightful analysis of XRP that I've seen in my entire life. And I've seen a lot. I've been here almost 5 years. It's completely ridiculous. So what I do is I just continue to hold. And outside of XRP, which is my largest cryptocurrency holding, it's my favorite crypto, I thought I'd provide another update. Yesterday, for the 5th day in a row, I did buy more HBAR. I've been talking about this a little. I'm going to be brief on it here because I don't want to bore you guys too much. I don't know. You guys have to tell me what you want to hear. I do listen, right? I try to do my best to put out the types of content that, yes, I find interesting, but other people do too. And so for the 5th day in a row since HBAR has been suppressed, I bought more of it, just topping off my bags here. And so I tweeted out to this yesterday morning. Just bought more HBAR for the 5th day in a row, got it at 6.2 cents. My total HBAR holdings now up about 64% since May. If we get a dramatic drop from here, I will buy substantially more, but don't know if we'll be fortunate enough to see that though. My investment in HBAR is currently at a loss and I don't care. Stacking. Right. Now, of course, if I listen to that other guy saying, oh, XRP, my gosh, it hasn't been doing anything in terms of price action. I still don't buy that argument, but even if that were true, so what? So my investment, should I sell my H bar too because it's currently down? I've been holding it since the beginning of 2021. It hit an all-time high, and now I'm still holding it, and now I'm at a loss. So I just sell it then, right? Because that's the strategy, right? That's what this guy was saying. You just sell when you're at a loss, right? Is that the time to do it? Maybe, yeah, because look, I must be buying here, man. I must be really emotional about my H bar. I must be emotionally attached to the damn thing. That is stupid as crap. I was thrilled to be buying it at 6.2 cents yesterday, and it is true. My H bar holdings up 64% since May of this year. Incredible stuff. And now H bar, it's up slightly from yesterday, according to Live Coin Watch. It's at 6.5 cents, 6.5 cents here. So I'll just keep buying. I don't know if we're fortunate enough to see that price like halved. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, but oh my god, can you imagine 3 or 4 cent H bar? Back up the truck, son. That's exactly what I'm going to be thinking. So we'll see, but I'm just going to keep holding, whatever. Nonsense like this, it can emotionally impact people. It's part of the reason I want to highlight this. It's just not an insightful perspective what this guy shared. So I just wanted to use my platform to share what I think about this. I think my thought process makes a bit more sense than him, let's say. And can you imagine once the SEC Ripple case is actually settled and it's in favor of XRP holders? Can you imagine what that could potentially do in terms of XRP price action? I mean, no one knows for sure, but I'm gonna sit around and wait. I'm definitely gonna sit around and wait. I am optimistic, let's say. But I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.